Hey, good morning. This is Patty with Patty's Purse and Pounds. I haven't done a Patty's Purse video, budgeting video in a long time, and I'm getting some new subscribers. So let me just go over our budget and kind of explain where I'm at with things. So I've been using the Budget Mom Paycheck book for about 5 years now, and it's really turned my finances and my mindset around of where how to spend money, how to intentionally spend money, how to save with sinking funds. I have an emergency fund, and I'm just trying very hard to it's a work in progress, continuously just intentionally spend money. So I work full time. I'm an office manager for a small construction company. My husband is an attorney, and his money, not his money, like we do obviously combine finances, but he has like 11, I don't know, quite a bit of business bills on a monthly basis. He gets paid from the business twice a month, and that money goes into a joint fund for all our fixed bills, or at least most of them. I get paid with my full-time job every Wednesday. So that's why my calendar is set up Wednesday through Tuesday, because that's my spending week. Okay. So this month in May, I'm going to start tracking what we spend, if we spend any money daily. And that way it's kind of just gives us an overview of where the money is going. Obviously, my intention is not to spend money on a daily basis, but you can see, when the weekend comes around, we had some groceries Friday night. Then we had some pizza Saturday that we got out. And then yesterday I got gas. So again, like today and tomorrow, I don't anticipate in any spending. Now, my financial goals for May, most importantly, is we're going on a cruise at the end of May. You can see it right down here. It says cruising. So my biggest financial goal for May is cash cruise. So any monies that we're going to take on the cruise, I want to cash it. And even, when you check in on your cruise, you have to give them a credit card. So I did that, but then, my goal is to go down half, 4 or 5 days into the cruise and drop cash. And then again, at the end of the cruise, just pay cash for any monies owed on our bill. That's just my biggest financial goal. And then I am in a debt journey as well. And, just continuously putting money on our credit cards to continue to get that down as well. So I'm going to show you my first paycheck budget tracker, which was for the date of 4/29, which was the end of April, but that was my first paycheck for May. What I do in the budget by paycheck book is, because I like to, budget the paycheck here, and then I like having one expense tracker for each paycheck. So I just, rip these off, or I have the PDF version of this. So I print out a page, and then I put the paycheck budget trackers here. Then I do double-sided tape to put the expense tracker here. And I do that for all, every month for all 4 to 5 paychecks. And again, it's because it's a visual for me. It's the paycheck budget here, what we're budgeting and what actually is spent, and then just the tracker here. To me, it's just easier than flipping back and forth. Certainly do what you want. And for cash envelopes, I don't really use a lot, although I think I'm gonna take out $50 a week for groceries in May and put it in an envelope to do groceries that way. We have a lot, and you might be saying $50 a week, that's all you spend. It's my husband and I, and then we have a daughter who eats via G-tube, so that stuff's all taken care of. But she does eat by mouth. She's been eating a lot by mouth in the last couple years. We're trying to help her gain weight. So she really just eats like mashed potatoes with a protein. And it can be ground hamburger to, she tries different foods. So she's not like your typical teenager. She is 14. She's not like your typical teenager that's going to eat you out of house and home. So our budget for May is $300 for groceries, but take a breath. Consider that also we have meats at home. We have meats in our freezer that we got Good Chop in, I think, end of March. So we have meats, and I did this. You'll see this past week I did a Misfits Market grocery haul, and we do BJ's once a month. So the plan for May, because we're going to be away for a week, and we need money for dog sitting, we need travel money, etc., is really just to eat out of pantry and freezer. Then we come back from our cruise, early June, we'll budget a grocery shop then. So, and if we don't need it because we still have stuff in our freezer, then so be it. And then, as you can see from the title of my channel, I'm also Pounds, Patty's Purse and Pounds. So I personally am on a GLP-1 journey, and I have been for a few years now. It's another video. However, I don't really eat a lot at dinner time. I'm up early. I eat breakfast at like 6:30, and then I have a lunch, and I might have an afternoon snack. And for supper, I try to eat salads or just something light, especially Monday through Friday. Okay, that just being said, I wanted to put that all out there so you kind of understand the dynamics of the family. So let's just take a look at this past week's budget where I said my money was going. So this paycheck budget tracker is only funds that I bring in. Again, my husband does get paid every 2 weeks, but that goes into a separate account. It's a joint account, and it's fixed bills. So that pays the mortgage, the gas and electric, which is ridiculous. Our internet services, we have a solar loan. So that gets all paid by his fixed income every 2 weeks. And that's why I don't really do I don't put it in a paycheck budget tracker. I do track it, but I don't keep it in here. This week to week is for the money that I bring in. So my rollover was $113.90. My check for my full-time job was $890.83. I brought in an additional $200 from other income. And then we had pizza on Saturday, and my friend Venmoed me $17. So the total was $1,222.48. I had budgeted $759.90. So obviously pretty good. My buffer in my checking account is $50. I'll have my house clean for $125. $50, $40, and $10 is something that comes out every week. It goes to our mortgage, an alley account, and then a yard save sinking funds account. And that's because we want to do certain things to the yard, and we really want to bring that sinking funds up quite a bit. So my car payment for April came out of this paycheck accidentally, because I meant to do it out of the fixed account, and there you go. So that was $355, and then this $1214 is monies that will be reimbursed for some postage that I did for work. So this total for actual was $642.14 from the $1222.40, which left $580.34. Now let's take a look at variable spending, because I did have some this past week. So $30 for gas, groceries. The Misfits Market was $45.71, and then we had to stop at Walmart for a few things. It was $20.41. Dine Out was $25 because we had a $25 coupon. We go to dinner every Friday night with Grace. She loves going to dinner. So we had Friday night dinner for $25 and pizza on Saturday for $20. And then the other pizza that we got that my friend reimbursed us for was $18.06. So, and then $26.14 was Amazon, I think, that I have to add in, and then $10.61 for some household stuff. So that total, it's going to be plus the $26.14, so it's like $180 something. So that leaves us like about $300 and something. So then coming back up here where the sinking funds are, we took out $80. We budgeted $100 for childcare, but we only used $60 on Saturday, and then I'm putting $20 in onto our travel envelope again for our cruise. That totals $80. We have $330.55 left. And then I have a separate account that I put $250 from my paycheck in on a weekly basis to cover any credit card debt payments. So this $330.55 includes that $250 just for purposes of visual purposes and adding it all together. And then our second mortgage came out, which was $235.85. And that leaves us with $94.70 that will get rolled over. Now, so then it's just easier to come over here and just track our spending as we do daily, weekly, whatever. Okay, so I had the $113.90 plus the rollover. And then using the highlighted method, I highlight our expense tracker, our expenses for the week, and then categorize them in a key down here. The border here is for the rollover of that second account where I deposit $250 a week to take out any credit card debt, and then also my second mortgage. So that's really basically it. You know, I use the paycheck method. I budget it here. I expense track on the next page. So I'll show you like going into this week. Much cleaner. So this will be the paycheck for 5/6. So I should be getting some reimbursed money in my regular paycheck. So I'm budgeting that. I don't know why it's so fuzzy, but I'm budgeting that at $900 with a rollover. So there we go. And I will go over that with you on Wednesday or Thursday of how I'm spending that money and budgeting that money for this week. So if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around, and I will try to do more videos on budgeting. I like budgeting videos. That's kind of where I started with YouTube, and I am going to get into that. And I hope you'll catch my shorts usually 2 to 3 times a week when I have my morning rambles. Thanks, everybody. Bye.